Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the movie. Couple things to note with this review. A, it's late. Yeah, I was on vacation, didn't have time to watch it. Second, I'm sick. It's just a mild cold. It seems to be going away, but you know, if I sound like crap, that's why. Third thing to note is I'm going to talk openly about spoilers and the references in this movie because A, it's been out for several days now. I'm late to reviewing it, so I don't see any reason to beat around the bush with it. And one of the biggest surprises of this movie has been shared around on social media so much that you're ruined from it being a surprise if you haven't seen it by now. And we're going to talk about that. So I guess we'll start with my experience of the show that this is based on. I actually watched it, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, not when it came out. I was not born yet, but I had the old DVD sets and I would watch those. And so I haven't seen every episode because the DVD sets didn't have every episode. I do want to get the Blu-ray set at some point that has all the episodes, but it's a great show. It actually still kind of holds up. I think it's a lot of fun. If you like, if you like Disney afternoon stuff and you haven't seen that one for whatever reason, you should definitely check that out. It's a good show. So when I saw the trailers for this movie, I was actually pretty interested because they had this really meta take. It looked funny, and there were a lot of cool references. And when actually watching the movie, it's okay. The thing about this movie is it's pretty mediocre. It's amazing the amount of references and non-Disney properties, some of which you see in the trailer, others you don't. It's really cool what they were able to put in this movie and make happen. That's cool. But like the people who have reviewed this movie act like that's most of the references. No, or most of the movie's references. Not really. See, most of the references happen at fan events in this movie, but there's only like a couple times where they had fan events, and you can see characters in the background. Cool, and those are cool like scenes to freeze frame and look in the background. Doesn't mean the rest of the movie is good, you know. And there's other background details. One of my favorite references being a Beavis and Butthead reference, where they had a billboard, not a billboard, like on this bench, it had like a sign to vote Senator Butthead. That was funny. That one made me laugh out loud, right? But a lot of the references in this movie are just that references, and they don't really add anything. And I get this is supposed to be a meta take, right, on Chip and Dale, but it isn't that meta. And this is the same issue I had with the Nicolas Cage movie. Like, there's meta jokes in there, but there isn't enough for what they sold the movie on. This is the meta movie, but yet it doesn't have that meta. Even the trailers made it seem like it was more of a meta take. Like, oh yeah, I mean, there are definitely meta takes in this movie. For example, like the villain wants to kidnap people to make bootleg versions of them and avoid copyright law. Okay, that's a funny thing. Do they really do anything that funny with it? No. They actually just play it straight. Like, that's the problem with this movie, really, is that there are jokes and humor in the movie, but most of the movie is a straight investigation movie, trying to figure out what the villain's up to. And so there's jokes in there making fun of stuff, but they're not that clever or witty most of the time. It's more just like, hey, it's that thing that you like. Or like there'll be a scene where like Chip and Dale will like have to rap to get out of a situation, and they'll point out how stupid it is to see cartoon characters rap. But then they're rapping. Like, you know, they're doing the thing that they're making fun of, you know? And so like I was just disappointed in this movie because the trailers hyped this up as some meta movie that was really funny and really clever, and it just it wasn't horrible, right? But it also wasn't great either. It was trying to act like it was something it wasn't, it was just fine. Like, it was a fine little one-time watch. I think it's worth watching for the references and things in the background at least once. Ugly Sonic was a surprise. I don't really want to say a good surprise because I didn't think it was. Like, I didn't ever want to see that character again in anything. And he wasn't funny in the movie. But a lot of people seem to think it was cool and funny, but I did not. So, it's just, I just like, ugh. This movie was disappointing. Another thing I want to mention is the voice acting was not very good. I didn't like John Mulaney and Andy Samberg because they had no range to their tone of voices. They gave the same performance for everything, and it was just kind of like very noticeable as the movie went along. And it just was like, okay, this is you're just getting paid the bucks. But it was fine. Didn't hate it. One time watch. Check it out. Cool.